All right, Nintendo gamers, it looks like we have another Direct to cover here on Direct Gaming, no relation. But today, September 14, 2023, Nintendo had a brand new Nintendo Direct, and they've got a ton of cool stuff that we're going to go over as quickly as we can today. I'm Little Bobby here with Direct Gaming, and today we're going to talk about the Nintendo Direct for fall 2023. First of all, we started off with Splatoon 3's expansion pass, the side order DLC. This looks like more Splatoon, and if you're a Splatoon fan, it looks like you're going to get a heaping helping of roguelite or something like that. You're going through playing over and over again and upgrading your character. That sounds like a roguelite to me. So hopefully this will be something new for you to enjoy if you're not a big roguelite fan, but you are a fan of Splatoon. I don't remember Splatoon having any kind of roguelite thing before. Maybe I'm wrong, but let us know down in the comments below if you're excited for this one. Then up next, we saw a remake of Mario vs. Donkey Kong. This is one that came out for the Game Boy Advance back in 2004, and it is now being remade for the Switch. The Switch is in its last years, and we are seeing Nintendo just not really pull any punches. They're still putting out great remakes, putting out new stuff for people to enjoy, and hopefully all the rumors about a backwards compatible Switch 2 are true, because then we'll be able to take something brand new like Mario vs. Donkey Kong right into the Nintendo Switch 2 day one if we enjoy it. This does look like the classic Mario vs. Donkey Kong gameplay, where it's almost like the original Donkey Kong game. You're trying to find your way through courses and reach objectives while avoiding traps and pitfalls and things like that. This looks like a lot of fun, and it has a very, very nice art style. So if you're picking this one up, let us know how you enjoy it. Up next was Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. This one I am getting more and more hyped for the more I see it. When I first saw it, I was kind of like, but now I'm looking at it going, man, this really just does look like old school Prince of Persia. Now, if you're an old gamer like me, you'll know that Prince of Persia did start as a 2D side scroller, and this looks like a very, very awesome throwback. Obviously, very updated, but an awesome throwback to those old Prince of Persia games. I'm 100% going to check this one out when it drops, because the gameplay and art style look exactly what I would like from a Prince of Persia game in 2023. Then coming up after Prince of Persia is Horizon Chase 2, which is looking like an awesome arcade racer for all you racing fans out there. Personally, if I'm playing a racing game, it is going to be something like this. I don't do racing sims very well, but I can hang with an arcade racer or just a goofy racer like Mario Kart. Those I'm absolutely cool with. So this might be something I grab and just have available on my Switch to throw on to play whenever I'm just feeling like playing a little fun racing game and I don't want to play Mario Kart. This is going to have online play and 4-player local co-op. So this is going to be something that if you're a racing fan, and especially if you got family or friends that you play with a lot, you're going to want to pick up. And then after that is a rhythm game, Super Crazy Rhythm Castle. This one looks like it has a lot of variety in the gameplay. Obviously, rhythm games are going to require you to just keep the rhythm, right? But here we're seeing different boss encounters and different styles of level and presentation, which I think is kind of interesting. This one's coming November 14th, and it's going to have a 4-player local co-op as well as online play, and it's going to have versus mode, so you can fight with your friends. Then we move on to Spy X Anya Operation Memories. This looks like a family sim kind of game where you're building memories as a little girl who is then creating a photo diary or photo journal of the way she decides to spend time with friends and family. Really wasn't able to gather much more from this trailer, but I assume this is for a much more casual audience. However, if you're looking forward to this one, let us know in the comments. Then we go to Super Mario RPG. I've already stated a few times how this is one of my favorite games of all time, and the fact that it's getting a remake is just lovely to me. So they gave us more details on how this is going to work. The timed hit system, which is something that I believe was made in this game and then, used later, even most recently in Sea of Stars. The timed hit system has been overhauled so that when you do a perfect timed hit, you're going to be doing like an AoE that affects all enemies. I think that's a great change. And they're also going to allow you to power up a gauge and do a fantastic triple move, which I think is great, because anyone I know who played this game eventually just always boiled down to using Mario, Bowser, and Peach. And that, that's just kind of the meta of the game. So if the triple move, like say with Malo and Peach or with Geno and Bowser, is way more powerful, that might shift the meta away from just having Bowser, Peach, and Mario as your main team once you get those characters available. Overall, this game's looking gorgeous, and I am super hyped about this one. You can definitely tell there's a lot of care put into this remake, and I think it deserves it, as this is definitely one of the better Super Nintendo games that ever came out. Then we move right along to Another Code Recollection, which is a compilation of 2 games, Another Code 2 Memories and Another Code R, which was not released in North America. So now we're seeing this set or this collection being made available fully for the first time Apparently it has been redone and made so that the stories kind of go into each other directly. There's also upscaling of things done for the Nintendo Switch. And this looks like an emotional kind of Japanese RPG style game, which we get a lot of on the Switch, but that doesn't mean this might not be something you want to check out. And after that, we finally get the name of the Princess Peach full game that's coming out. And this one looks incredibly impressive. It's a lot more than I thought it was going to be personally. It is a side-scrolling, kind of 2D, 3D looking kind of game, but it's Princess Peach. She gets sucked into like an evil magical play trapped, and so she has to use a ribbon that helps her transform forms and solve different puzzles. At one point, she's using a sword to cut through thick vines and things like that by becoming Sword Fighter Peach. And then in another puzzle, she has to become Detective Peach and solve mysteries. And so like, this is looking really, really cool. Personally, I might actually, get this on day one if it, is not interfering with anything too crazy. But personally, I think this is just one that is oozing with charm and is something that Princess Peach as a character has deserved for a long time. It's good to see her finally getting her own spotlight game. Again, no pun intended. Then we move on to Saga Emerald Beyond. I don't know anything about the Saga series of games. This does look kind of interesting though. They say you can pick a number of characters, you can pick a number of paths to go down. That kind of reminds me of Octopath Traveler, right? Depending on which character, which order, it kind of feels different every time. That could be something that you do with this game, but personally, I don't know. But it does look nice, and it is a very unique style of turn-based combat, at least from what I'm seeing. And while there is no official release date yet, Saga Emerald Beyond is going to be releasing in 2024. Then if you're an old person like me, you're probably going to remember when these games originally came out. If not, then this will be a brand new adventure for you. But Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered starring Lara Croft will be dropping on Nintendo Switch. They say they are keeping all of the original expansions and secrets and stuff like that from the original franchise. So if you played through them before and you remember all that stuff, you'll be able to go right through and get everything. The other thing that I think is really interesting is they're doing the Halo Master Chief Collection thing where you can switch between the upgraded visuals or the original visuals if you want that like OG original PlayStation 1 feeling. If you're a fan of old school Tomb Raider, make sure you're looking out for that on February 14th, 2024. Then we get another look at Detective Pikachu Returns. Obviously, he's all about the coffee. Detective Pikachu's a franchise that, especially since the movie came out, has, gone up in popularity. It was always popular because it was Pokemon, right? Almost everything Pokemon is popular, but we are seeing a lot of interest in this game. And if you're ready for this one, it's going to be out in just a few weeks on October 6th, 2023. So keep your eyes out for Detective Pikachu Returns. And then one of the games of all time, Trombone Champ, is coming to the Switch. Trombone Champ is a hilarious, hilarious game. If you haven't played it or seen it played, this was your first look, you're in for a treat because it just gets worse, right? The longer you go, and it's, it's kind of like if you're someone who plays trombone poorly. I was one of those people once. It's just sounds not great, and it's just a great time to hear the virtual trombone honking away at some of these beautiful, beautiful songs from classical to pop and everything in between. If you're wanting to pick this one up, it's going to be available later today, and like I said, it's a good time, so definitely keep it on your radar. After Trombone Champ, we get our first look at Battle Crush, which is a 30-player battle royale with 10 teams of 3. And it looks like what you do is you just go up, fight each other, and all around you, the terrain is collapsing. So if you don't just outright beat your opponent, you could also just try to push them off the edge. This actually looks like it might be a fun time. It's going to be free to play, so there's no reason to not at least check it out if you're into battle royale games and this kind of top-down melee combat-focused game. Then we move right along to War Tales. This is a tactical RPG where you can actually play with 4-player co-op, and it looks like it's a big open world game. I'm kind of interested in this one. I'm going to wait to see what reviews are, but this is going to be coming out today. It looks very much like a traditional tactical turn-based RPG, but the open world concept and being able to play with other people has me kind of intrigued. So let us know down in the comments what you think about this one. Are you interested in checking it out? Then they appeal to older gamers such as myself again with a reimagining of Contra. And Contra was a franchise that was on the original Nintendo way back in the day. It was a great franchise. It was like revolutionary for the time with what you could do. All the weapon combinations and the gameplay was just so smooth. Everything about it was great. So they're putting out Contra. Operation Galuga is coming to Switch early next year, and I can't wait. Contra personally is one of those old school games that I absolutely adore. So I'll definitely be checking this out. And Atlas follows that up with another tactical RPG. Unicorn Overlord is looking like an epic adventure. I love the 2.5D, like HD, 2D, whatever they want to call it, art style. It was very prevalent in Octopath Traveler. It's been really making a big splash lately with lots of like tactical and turn-based RPGs taking this approach, and I love it every time. It looks great here. They say it's a big, expansive open world, and the storybook look of the battles, I think, is absolutely great. It looks very much like a dark fantasy storybook. When you're engaging in the battle system, it does look like traditional turn-based combat. They say there's over 60 characters and you can recruit them to make a grand army, which I think is epic, man. If you can get that many characters and then freely decide who's in your party and stuff like that every time you're going, man, that makes for a lot of variation in gameplay, especially if all the characters have their own thing to them and they're not just, copy, paste, repeats. But keep this one on your radar. It's going to be coming out March 8th, 2024. Then we get a deeper dive into Luigi's Mansion 2. This was originally known in the US as Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. It was released on the 3DS back in 2013, I want to say. This is looking like a fantastic remake, remaster, whatever one you want to call it. And it's coming to Switch. This is a perfect Switch game. Luigi's Mansion is great fun. It's a great little, game that you just pick up and play a little bit and then you put down and pick it up. And that's exactly how I play my Switch. I generally, with the exception of like Zelda and Pokemon, if I'm playing a game on the Switch, I pick it up, play it for, 30 minutes to an hour, put it down, and maybe pick it up later in the day or the next day. And remasters of 3DS or DS games are perfect for that because that's what people were doing with the 3DS and DS back in the day anyway. But we get to see all sorts of Luigi's Mansion shenanigans, like hunting ghosts, discovering mysteries and secrets in the mansion itself. So this is looking like it's going to be a great time. And this will be coming in summer 2024, which is right before the supposed release of the Switch 2. So we'll see how that goes. Then they talk about the Kyoto Nintendo Museum, something that hopefully we can bribe talent into going to and making a video on when it's really getting going. But they say they plan to finish up construction by March 2024. Hopefully it will open very soon after that. And it's going to feature a lot of things from Nintendo's history, probably like old consoles, dev kits, things like that they've worked on throughout the years. Then they talk about new amiibo, including the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Noah and Mio amiibo, the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Zelda and Ganondorf amiibo, and then the Smash Bros. Ultimate Sora amiibo. These are all coming hopefully within the next 6 months. The Zelda ones are coming November 3rd. The Xenoblade Chronicles are coming January 19th. And the Sora one just says 2024 right now, but I don't predict that will take too long to come out. Sora was really hyped up, and I think the hype is still there if that amiibo comes out. So hopefully we don't have to wait too long. And then it finally happened. Nintendo released a new F-Zero game in F-Zero 99. This is a free-to-play for Nintendo Online subscribers. It is a 99-player Battle Royale F-Zero race where you just go through classic F-Zero tracks, trying not to crash into the guardrails or the other racers, because every time you do, you're going to lose a little bit of your power meter, which is like your health, and if that's gone, then you are eliminated. And from other vehicles hitting each other, you can collect the wreckage, and that allows you to kind of go up to a new track called the Skyway that allows you to bypass your competition. I think that's a very interesting mechanic, and I'm definitely going to be getting on this one today. They also say as you go through and level up, you can unlock cosmetic options for your thing, which is very, very cool. And I think this is an awesome way to pay tribute to a very, very well-loved franchise that maybe they don't want to take the risk of making an entirely new game, but they're going to gauge the sentiment based on how many people are playing F-Zero. And I predict that if we see F-Zero 99 do very, very well, they're not only going to keep it around, but they're going to make a new F-Zero property within the next few years. Then moving right along, we get Bandle Tale, a League of Legends story, which looks like a very adorable RPG style game, maybe management sim a little bit, kind of farming cozy game. Based on League of Legends. I don't know much about League of Legends, but this looks fine. And then another League of Legends tale, Song of Nunu, is coming out, and this one looks a little more up my alley. It looks like a third-person kind of 3D, kind of cute puzzle style game. Kind of reminds me of Kena Bridge of Spirits in the animation style a little bit, obviously a little more exaggerated and cartoonish. But both of these are coming out soon, with Song of Nunu coming out November 1st, and then Bandle Tale dropping in 2024. Then we move on to WarioWare Move It. If you didn't think WarioWare could get any weirder than it already was, WarioWare Move It obviously has proven us all wrong, because now they have you taking what are called forms in order to play the mini games. And I feel like this is going to be great calisthenics, and a lot of us are going to feel super worn out after we play these mini games for a half hour. But this certainly does look engaging and interesting, to say the very least. If it's not something you're into, you may want to avoid it. But if you're someone who likes to play like Just Dance and fun kind of movement-based games, this might be right up your alley. And you won't have to wait long, because it's coming November 3rd. And then we see another JRPG in the 2.5 HD, whatever you want to call it, style. Again, I love this style, and Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes is looking like another big epic RPG in this style, where you get to build up the world around you, recruit different characters, and have an epic journey all the way through. The battle style looks absolutely incredible, with it shifting to kind of like a 3D, 2D thing where the camera circles around the characters. But one thing that concerns me is, at least in this video, it looked like that frame rate was getting hit pretty hard. So this might be one that you save until the Switch 2 comes out. But if you are interested in this one, it's going to be available April 23rd, 2024. And then we see an expansion or a DLC for Eastward called Octopia. It looks like this one's going to be kind of like a farming sim. I haven't played Eastward. I'm not really familiar with that, but this one looks like a kind of a cozy game if you're into those. It's definitely got those vibes where it looks like you're doing a lot of agriculture, town management, interacting with the population of the town, and creating relationships and things like that. And they say that even if you're new to the game, you can go right into this DLC, which I think is a great selling point for anyone who might see this and go, hey, you know what, I want to check that out, even though I've never played the game before. But then we see Wargroove 2. This is not a franchise I'm familiar with at all, but it looks like a kind of turn-based tactical RPG style game. It says there are 3 campaigns. There are new factions if you played Wargroove 1, but this one is coming out in just a few weeks on October 5th, 2023. And then the indie darling Dave the Diver is coming to the Nintendo Switch October 26th. They say there's going to be a free demo today. This one is about a diver who dives down to get fish so that he can serve that fish at night at his sushi restaurant. So it's like 2 different games in one. One is like this underwater adventure where you're trying to catch fish, and then the next part is the nighttime, where it is basically like a restaurant management sim. So I've heard nothing but great things and how addicting this game is. A lot of people said, hey, this is like my indie game of the year. So this might be something you want to check out. I'm absolutely going to check out this demo today, and you might want to do that yourself. Then we see the final wave of the Mario Kart DLC. This is going to keep Talon happy. Him and Lemon are going to be able to play that for hours. Make sure you check out those live streams. We have those every couple of weeks when time allows, and we usually try and have them premiere. So keep your eyes out for that. But this last wave of DLC is going to contain the Daisy Circuit from the Wii U game, as well as Peachette and Pauline, and Diddy Kong and Funky Kong as playable characters. So if you're trying to get into the last bit of Mario Kart, here it is. And if you have a Nintendo Switch Online Plus or Premium, whatever the $50 subscription is, you can access this for free. Otherwise, you can just buy the DLC, and they say it should be available this holiday. And then there's the announcement of a new map for the game Among Us. This one's going to be launching in October, and it's going to be free for all owners of Among Us. Among Us is a game that I haven't played in a while, but one of the things that is hype for Among Us players is a brand new map, because it gives you a brand new thing to learn and adds a new element of the gameplay. So I think it's a great addition, especially since they, decided to cancel the Among Us 2 sequel. Keep adding to this original game. I think is great value benefit for those already invested. Then they show a nice little sizzle reel to remind you, hey, the Pokemon DLC is out. Super Mario Wonder is coming. Detective Pikachu is coming, right? It's just showing the stuff that they talked about today and previously. But then they had the big reveal, and that is Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door being remade for the Nintendo Switch. Paper Mario was the spiritual successor and what Nintendo could kind of get away with after Mario RPG. Because their relationship with Square was kind of down in the dumps for a while, they had to figure out a way to continue experimenting with Mario doing RPGs, and so out came the Paper Mario franchise. And I've already seen a ton of people who are super stoked about this. I know one of my friends sent me a message, was like, did you see that the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door? And I was like, man, I just woke up, sorry. But there has been a lot of positive sentiment about this. A lot of people were like, I never thought this would happen. Kind of like when I saw Mario RPG being remade. So if you're a Mario RPG fan, the next year for you is just looking stacked. Paper Mario RPG has a great art style, great gameplay, and it is one of those all-time beloved games that Nintendo has made with the Mario characters and things like that. This is going to be a big success, I think, for Nintendo, and this is coming out sometime in 2024. So this was everything with the Nintendo Direct that we saw today. What did you think about this Direct? I saw a lot of people saying, oh, it's mid. I thought it was fine. I actually loved some of the announcements. Paper Mario's very cool. Princess Peach game looks great. Detective Pikachu looks like Detective Pikachu. Prince of Persia looks awesome. The F-099 is something I want to get into immediately. Trombone Champ coming to Switch is a 10 out of 10 in my opinion, and so many cool RPGs coming. Some of these gay RPGs that are dropping within the next year are looking incredible. Eiyuden Chronicles and Unicorn Overlord especially look fantastic. So what do you think? Let us know down in the comments down below, because we would love to hear from you. Again, I'm Little Bobby here with Direct Gaming, and thank you so much for watching today. We hope to see you soon.